Welcome back, everybody. Today we're diving deep, deep into the world of street food.
But not just any street food.
Oh, no, not just any street food.
We're going for something iconic, something that has a story, something with a lot of soul.
Lots of flavor, too, I'm hoping.
Definitely lots of flavor. We're headed to the streets of Mumbai, India, for this one to explore the legendary Vada Pav.
The Vada Pav. You know, you see those words pop up on menus and food blogs everywhere, and you think, okay, what's the big deal? But there's something about this dish that goes beyond just a simple description. It evokes reactions. It has a story.
Right, it's one of those foods that seems to have captured people's imaginations.
Mm.
So for this deep dive, we're going beyond just the basics. We're not just going to list ingredients. We really want to understand what makes the Vada Pav tick.
The heart and soul of the Vada Pav.
Exactly. Why is it so popular? What's the experience like? And what does it tell us about the culture it comes from?
I'm ready to uncover all of that. Me too. All right, so let's start by breaking down the Vada Pav. When you take a bite, what are the different components at play here?
All right, so think of the Vada Pav as a beautifully orchestrated symphony of flavors and textures, right?
Yeah.
Each element plays its part to create this harmonious whole.
Okay, I'm liking this symphony analogy.
Yeah, so first you have the Vada itself. That's the star, the headliner.
The soloist.
Exactly. It's essentially a spiced potato fritter, but oh, so much more than that. The base is this wonderfully fluffy mashed potato.
Comfort food 101.
Right. But then it's taken to a whole other level with this beautiful blend of spices. You've got turmeric lending its warm golden color and that subtle earthy flavor.
Right, love that turmeric. It has this like almost grounding quality to it.
It does. And then you have the mustard seeds. They add these little pops of flavor, these little surprises as you bite into it. And then there's the ginger and garlic. The ginger and garlic, they bring in that wonderful warmth and depth.
And that kind of savory aroma that just makes your mouth water.
Yes, exactly. And of course, you can't forget the green chilies, which bring in that little kick of heat. And to round it all off, fresh coriander, which adds a touch of brightness.
Feels like a symphony of spices in there. But I imagine the preparation of the Vada is pretty important too, right? It's not just a matter of mixing spices into mashed potatoes.
You're absolutely right. So these spiced mashed potatoes are shaped into these little balls, kind of like, like smallish golf ball size.
Okay, I can picture that.
And then they're dipped into a batter made from chickpea flour or besan. And this batter, it's key. It creates that wonderfully crispy exterior when it's fried.
Ah, so that's where the crunch comes from.
Exactly. And then these coated potato balls are deep fried to this beautiful golden brown. And I hear that, street vendors all have their little secrets, their techniques to get that perfect crispy coating.
I bet they do. It's like their signature touch. All right, so we have this crispy, flavorful potato ball. But a Vada Pav is not a Vada Pav without the pav, right?
Absolutely not. The pav is the other half of this dynamic duo. It's a soft bread roll, often compared to a dinner roll or even a brioche bun. It's got that lovely, soft, fluffy texture.
So it's like the perfect vessel for the Vada.
Precisely. The pav's mild flavor doesn't compete with the Vada, but rather complements it, letting those spice flavors really shine through.
And then we get to the chutneys, which I feel like are the real wild cards here, the elements that really take things up a notch. Tell us about these flavor bombs.
Oh, the chutneys are where the magic really happens, where the Vada Pav goes from good to unforgettable.
They bring the excitement.
Absolutely. Now, there are a couple of key chutneys that you'll typically find with a Vada Pav. The first one, the essential one, is the dry garlic chutney. This stuff is fiery. It's typically made with a lot of garlic, dry grated coconut, and of course a good amount of chili powder. It delivers this intense, smoky heat.
So it's not for the faint of heart.
Oh no, this is serious flavor business. Then you have the green chutney, which offers a beautiful contrast. This one is fresh and herby, usually made with mint and coriander leaves, maybe a touch of green chili, and a squeeze of lemon or lime.
Okay, so that sounds a bit more refreshing, a bit more cooling.
Exactly. It provides some balance to the richness of the Vada and the heat of that garlic chutney. And then sometimes you'll also find a tamarind chutney. This one adds a bit of sweet and tangy complexity to the mix.
So it's like a sweet and sour element.
Yeah, it's that extra layer of flavor that just rounds everything out. And, if you're really feeling adventurous, they often serve a deep-fried green chili on the side, just in case you need that extra kick.
Wow. Okay. So you've got this beautifully spiced and fried fritter, this soft, fluffy bun, and then this array of incredibly flavorful chutneys. How does it all come together when you actually take a bite?
Well, the assembly itself is quite simple, which is part of the beauty of it. You just take the Vada, nestle it inside the pav, Slather on those chutneys, and you're good to go.
Just like a sandwich.
Yeah, it's very straightforward, very easy to eat on the go. And that's a big part of its appeal, too. It's quick, it's affordable, and it's incredibly filling. It's the perfect fuel for a busy day in Mumbai.
So it's like the ultimate street food in that sense. It's practical, it's accessible.
Exactly. And, I was thinking about the ingredients, too. Things like potatoes, chickpeas for the batter, garlic. These are all relatively inexpensive ingredients, which probably helped it become such a popular food for so many people.
Right, it's like a food that's deeply rooted in its context, its ingredients, and its affordability. Okay, so we've broken down the anatomy of the Vada Pav, but to truly get it, we need to go beyond just the ingredients, right? We need to experience it. Our source paints such a vivid picture of that first encounter with a Vada Pav.
Yeah, it does. It really transports you right there to the streets of Mumbai. Imagine yourself walking down a bustling street. The air is filled with this mix of aromas. You've got that tempting smell of fried food mingling with those fragrant spices. And maybe there's even that little bit of exhaust in the air, that kind of urban grit.
You can practically feel the energy of the city all around you.
And then, amidst all of this, you're handed this warm Vada Pav wrapped simply in a piece of newspaper. There's something so unpretentious, so immediate about that.
It's like street food in its purest form.
Exactly. And the source takes us through what a first-time eater might be experiencing. It's fascinating how they break down the sensory experience.
It's like they're taking us on a guided tour of the Vada Pav.
So first you notice the softness of the bread, that pillowy texture of the pav. It's like this gentle, almost comforting first impression.
It's like setting the stage.
And then, bam, you get that crunch as you bite into the vada, that unexpected, satisfying crispiness. The source compares it to a spiced hash brown, which I think is a pretty spot-on description.
Yeah, I can see that. It's that familiar fried potato goodness, but with a whole new dimension of flavor.
And then those spices in the potato filling really start to come alive. You get those little pops of mustard seed, that earthy warmth from the turmeric, and the ginger and garlic. They start to release their aroma as you chew.
It's like the flavors are unfolding in stages.
Right. And the heat, too, is described as this earthy, aromatic heat. It's not like a sharp, piercing heat. It's something more rounded and complex.
I think that description really captures it. It's like the heat is coming from the fresh green chilies and that red garlic powder in the chutney. It's different from, say, the heat of a jalapeno.
Exactly. It's a different kind of spice experience. But I think the real star of the show, in terms of heat, is that garlic chutney.
It's the one that packs the punch.
The source describes it as punching you in the face, which I think is such a perfect way to put it. It's smoky, it's spicy, and it's unapologetic.
But what's interesting is how the soft pav comes in and kind of softens the blow a little bit. It provides a moment of respite from that intense garlic flavor, but the spice still lingers. It's like this push and pull that keeps you coming back for more.
Absolutely. It's that interplay between the fiery chutney and the soft, yielding pav that makes it so addictive. The source says it's like India's version of comfort food, but on steroids, which I love. It's familiar in a way, but it's amped up to a whole new level.
It's like comfort food with an edge, and the way they sum up that first bite is so good. It's like biting into a crunchy, spicy cloud of mashed potatoes sandwiched inside a dinner roll. A chaotic but wonderfully satisfying mashup of textures and flavors, soft, crunchy, spicy, garlicky, and even a little hint of sweetness from the bread.
Yeah, captures that wonderful chaos of the Vada Pav. It's this unexpected combination of elements, but somehow it all works together perfectly.
It's like they were destined to be together.
And that brings us to why people line up for this, why it's become such a phenomenon. It's so much more than just a quick, cheap meal. The source describes it as soul food, as street food in its purest form. They say it's bold, loud, brilliant, and that it makes you feel alive.
It's like it embodies the spirit of Mumbai itself.
Yeah, it's like this humble little snack has become this symbol of the city, of its energy, its resilience, its culture. And it's interesting to think about how a dish with such simple, affordable ingredients can evolve into something so iconic and culturally significant.
It speaks to the power of food to transcend its basic purpose of sustenance. It becomes something more, something that connects us to a place, to a culture, to a shared experience.
Right, it's like a story in every bite.
And I love this analogy that the source gives to sum it all up. It's like if a spicy potato croquette and a burger bun got married in the middle of a street market and someone spiked the wedding with garlic, chilies, and a whole lot of attitude.
Oh, I love that. That's perfect. It captures that unexpected union, that boldness, that unapologetic flavor.
It's like comfort food meets rock and roll. So, to wrap things up for everyone today, the big takeaway from our deep dive into the Vada Pav is that it's so much more than just a snack. It's a multisensory experience, it's a cultural icon, and it's a testament to the power of simple ingredients to create something truly extraordinary.
It really is. It's a
Right.
reminder that sometimes the most unassuming foods can hold the most flavor, the most history, and the most heart.
And that brings us to our final thought for you all. Think about your own experiences with food. What are the street food heroes in your life? What are those dishes that evoke strong emotions, that tell a story, that connect you to a place or a culture? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for diving deep with us today.